Hey, everybody, welcome back to ParaMystic Podcast with Kristina Bloom. I'm your host, Kristina, and I am here with my amazing co-host, Glenn Boddice. And we got lots of fun stuff to talk about. Glenn's had some really cool stuff he's been doing, so we're going to want to hear about that. And I went to a wonderful event this past weekend. Um, Ohm is where the heart is with Northwoods Expos, and it was just a beautiful, lovely event. It got a few more things coming up. I do want to tell you all about the drum making class. On the winter solstice and the day before, we're doing two sessions of Native American handheld drum making, and it will involve some teachings around the drum and the heartbeat of Mother Earth and all of that wonderful stuff. So it's you can go to Alchemy Copper and Crystals is hosting, and that is where the event is listed on Facebook. You can go there to register. There's a registration link and all of the information that you're going to need. So, I go. You have so much stuff going on, Glenn. Welcome.
Hi there, Kristina. Thank you once again for permitting me access to this beautiful channel on this show. I'm doing really well, thank you. Although we was just discussing off air there about the regimes, about when it's time to rest, you have to listen and just hunker down. And so
Yeah.
it's been very busy this end, and this weekend, in fact, I've just had to take heed and listen to the body and just so I'm not used to that, but I feel the benefits already because I'm feeling that
Yeah.
energy building up for my next week, full on week ahead. So I'm doing
Good.
really well. Thank you. Thank you for
Awesome.
asking.
Awesome. I know
I'm
you've got
intrigued.
stuff. Yeah.
Before you ask, I'm intrigued about the drum making class.
Oh.
Being a drummer, obviously, my ears went doing. Tell
Yeah.
me about it. This drum making.
Yeah, I use a supplier that is native owned, Native American owned. And I've been to their facility where they've got smudge pots going. They're always smudging with sage and they get their hides that we make the drums out of from various hunters. And so it's wild animals. It's not animals that are, being raised for this.
Hmm. Yeah,
So, I know that the animals are being used in a sacred way, and that matters to me when I'm making sacred objects, right? So, I order the drum kits from them, and they send all of the stuff that you need to make a drum, and then I do the teachings on the drum, like what it means and putting your own prayers because we're making healing drums for the each person to make a drum for their own healing on whatever level that is. So there's prayers that are involved, there's teachings that are involved as far as how to honor a drum sacredly, how to honor the animal that gave its life so that you could
hmm
make the drum, how to honor the tree that gave its life for the frame. There's all of that that's involved in it, and it's just really a beautiful thing. We don't do the painting of the drum because you have to wait until they're dry, and it takes several days for the drum to dry because you have to make it obviously with wet hides. You won't be able to stretch it; it'll just
yeah,
break.
yeah.
So, um, yeah, it's a process, and everyone puts their own prayers into the drum if they are making it as a gift for someone else, which is also completely permissible. You can certainly do
Hmm.
that. Um, then you would put in prayers for the person that you're giving it to. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, and it's really powerful. And every time that that drum is struck, the sound reverberates out that feeling, that healing that
Mm.
was put into the drum during the making of it. So,
That
yeah,
sounds incredible. And obviously,
yeah.
being a drummer myself, I'm familiar with the materials and things. The different
Hmm.
woods create different resonant sounds
Yes,
and frequencies. So,
yes.
are you using a different variety of woods or for specific reason
Um,
or
no, we're
for the
using
frames?
maple. We're
Oh,
using maple.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot
it's
of
a
my
hu-
kits are maple. Hmm.
yeah, it's a beautiful hardwood, and that it's a durable wood. So, it doesn't. crack and break very easily. I have had some that were made out of like cedar and pine, not quite as durable, still as beautiful, but you can't really bend them like you can maple, you know? So,
Yeah.
in the process of making it, it is definitely a process. And I know that the hides are not being processed with chemicals, they're being processed naturally. So that's why I use that specific supplier as well, because I know how they do it.
The
So,
tuning of them as well. Obviously, you
hmm
said that you lay down that the hides when they're wet, so you can get that stretch
hmm
there. But I'm assuming you use part of the hide for like some sort of cording at the back to tighten it, and then
Right.
you, like you would on a drum with the lugs, you
hmm
would tighten it and get it even. Are you going for a specific tone or frequency when you're doing that, or you have to make that allowance, I suppose, for it to dry to do that?
Right. You have to wait for the allowance. You can't really, I mean, you can stretch it and make it not sound right if you try to use it when it's not dry, because the hide is still pliable. So if you take a beater and you hit it while it's still wet, it's going to stretch it and it's not going to sound right when it's dry.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
have to wait until it's completely dry. But I, if there is a way to tune a natural hide to a specific tone, I don't have the skill. I'll be honest with you.
okay.
But they are natural hides, so they aren't consistently one thickness. That they're natural. So, and because it's a healing drum and not a performance drum, so to speak, it's more, we just ask spirit to tune it to the tone that it needs to be for
Yeah.
the person who's going to be using it.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
the intentions that are put into the drum,
hmm
obviously they create a frequency, a sound wave in themselves when they're played. So
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
wow, fascinating. I love
Yeah.
that you're doing that. What a great thing
Yeah.
to pass on. That's amazing.
It is amazing because people really develop a relationship with their drum while they're making it. So,
That's it. Yeah, I
yeah.
understand that. Obviously,
Yeah.
like I keep saying, being a drummer,
Yeah. Being a drummer
I,
yourself.
I've named all of my drum kits, and when I'm performing on them, we have a bond, a relationship. They know how I'm going to perform with them, and vice
hmm
versa. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, the drum becomes part of you, I feel. Yeah.
Right. As any instrument does, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So that is it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to do that, to be able to make your own healing instrument or to make it for someone that you love, where you know that your prayers, every time that they tap that drum, those prayers are reverberated right to them. And I have to say, one of the more challenging things for people has been in different classes that I've taught is saying prayers for themselves, because we have been taught so much to say
Yeah.
prayers for other people, but we don't necessarily pray for ourselves. And so to pray for healing for ourselves is a very powerful thing, I think. So
It
that,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
you're quite right. Yeah, we often forget about ourselves because we're too busy concerned about everybody else. But with that being said, would that individual then, if they are doing that with their drum,
hmm
could they strike the drum with the sound frequencies facing them
Yes.
and go around various points of the body to do that?
Yes. I
Oh,
do that with
excellent.
other people too, with their own drums, like, because it's easier to do that for someone than to hold a drum backwards to yourself and straight. You know what I mean? Like it's an
Yes.
awkward position. But yeah, it's drum washing. So
Yeah.
I will do that for people with either with my drum, which is a community healing drum, or with their own drums.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how do people book in? Is that a few weeks? Did you say a few
It
weeks
is
time?
September. I'm sorry, good Lord, September. No,
We've
no,
gone
no.
over that.
It's not next year. It is actually about a month from now.
Okay.
Registration has to be in by December 1st so that I can make sure I have enough supplies for everyone. I have to know how many people are
Fantastic.
coming so I can order the supplies. So,
Excellent. Sounds
yeah,
exciting. I can't wait to see
yeah.
the photos and videos.
It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I talked to someone yesterday who was like, well, that's my birthday. I'm definitely going to be there. So, yeah, that's her birthday gift to herself. And yeah, and as someone who's a cancer survivor. So she is really excited about making a healing drum for herself.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. Cool.
Excellent.
What do you have coming up?
There's a lot going off actually this end. I'm doing a talk tomorrow in my local
Mhm.
town. I was asked to do a local talk, and I was thinking, right, what can I talk about? And so I am going to talk about well-being and manifesting and how the two can come in hand. And if you
Mhm.
get them all right, miracles can happen, but you've got to step out your way. So I'm going to be having a conversation about that in person tomorrow. Um,
Quick question. Will that be recorded?
yes, it may feature on one of my shows, little snippets. That is the intention, anyway,
Awesome.
to let
Thank
you
you.
in. So, yeah,
One, I
there
can't
is
wait
some
to
of it
hear
on
it.
there. Excuse me. You know me too well. So yeah, there's that's taking place, and then there's a teaching as well that's still going ahead online. That's going really well at the moment. No trance this week coming up. Yeah, that happens twice a month. Thursday, I'm doing was it party booking for some clients at their home, their property. So I'm looking forward to that. As you know, I do a lot of work
Yeah.
online, so it's always special when I can be released into the community.
And you're getting released into the community twice this coming week.
Well, three times, in
Three
fact. This,
times. All
yeah, the
right.
weekend. I'm doing some readings at an event in South Wales, and then the evening of that same day, I'm doing part of a paranormal investigation team at this event. So I can see why I
Awesome.
had the rest this week. It's going to
Yes,
be a
yes, you
busy
needed to
week.
rest. Wow.
Yeah,
That's incredible. So as you're going along and you're moving into this busy week, it is, I would imagine, and I know it is for me, which is why I would imagine it is for you, difficult to stay in alignment with spirit as you're doing all of these different things. How,
oh, you're a
oh.
smooth operator. I love that segue.
As you know, people, well, you don't know, but now you do. Alignment is our topic today. So how do you do that going into a busy week? And I know that you also have a job. So as you're
Yeah.
doing that, how do you stay in alignment with all of the different things that you do? I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think for me nowadays, I mean, years ago, I used to stress and worry about things and I'd need to know information before they actually happened. And I do still have a bit some of those traits with me now, but
Sounds like a
not,
Capricorn to me.
yeah, not as bad as I used to be. And so for me, I just know that have these things in my week. And I just yeah, I go for it. I don't let my mind take over, and I don't let the negative Nancy in there say, oh, you forgot this, have you done that, oh, you won't have enough time, have you got your food, all of those negative self-talks. I can
Mhm.
hear them, but I just like go, I don't give them my attention anymore. I just think, no,
Okay.
I've got a job to do, and I'm going to focus and dial into that job, and I'm going to do it, regardless of these, internal distractions. So this is how I do it. I focus in, and I have an agenda in my mind, what I need to do and how I need to do it, and I just dial into it. And like I say, I'm aware if I was to give it enough opportunity that these negative Nancy thoughts would come in and put anxiety into my system. But I
Hmm.
don't grant it permission anymore. I just like, right, let's crack on.
Well,
Let's move forward.
yeah, and we're going to get back to that. But my
Yeah,
first idea, the first thing that came to me when this topic came to me was, what is alignment? What does it mean?
interesting. Alignment. I would
Yeah.
say, as you know, we all have, or supposedly we have, a soul path, an agenda, certain points within our lifespan. that it is to our soul's advantage, or so we're led to believe, that we hit these certain targets in
Right.
order to make our transition and our soul evolution run a lot more smoothly. So I believe alignment is when we become at one with those targets on our soul path, and it's effortless. We just we simply allow ourselves to be present with them rather than questioning them and saying, why have I got to go there? Oh, I don't want to go there. Just by accepting it
Yeah.
and going with it. And I would say that's alignment. And where you're not forcing anything, you're not holding back from anything, you're just being at one, at peace with your path. And to me, that is alignment. What about
Okay.
yourself? How
For
do you
me,
perceive it?
alignment is a feeling. It's a feeling of being connected to, I guess, my higher self, to spirit, to my body. Like everything works together, and there's no, like you said, just internal distraction, and that we're going to get back to because I think a lot of people struggle with getting to that. But alignment for me is a feeling. It is a feeling of everything is flowing, everything, my life is flowing. There are, even when an obstacle comes up, when I'm in alignment, we just flow around it. It's not something that stops us necessarily. Um, and even when there is something big enough that comes up that temporarily stops us or stops me getting back into alignment, um, as some people know, I've had a health issue arise recently, a personal health issue that kind of stopped me in my tracks for a bit and has it knocked me mentally out of alignment. And so I have been working to get back into alignment. And one of the ways that I did that was to go into a spiritual ceremony in a sweat lodge, a Native American sweat lodge. And I'm not going to go into great detail about that. That's pretty personal, but it was powerful for me. And that helped me to get closer back to alignment, to be able to be present for the people in my life, to be able to be present for myself in my life, because I wasn't even being present for me. So, this is why I brought up the topic, because I know that you talk a lot about alignment. So, I wanted to see how you do it. And there are different ways to do it. And there are, of course, different circumstances where getting back into alignment requires different ways of doing it. It's not always the same way. But when you were talking about you don't listen to those negative thoughts anymore, you just sort of whistle through it and it just set them aside. How did you learn how to do that? Because that really is a struggle for a lot of people.
Um, I'm going to say, I think it's a man thing. We're programmed with it. you know, can you do those dishes? Can you take the trash out or whatever? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I don't know. No, all fun aside. I think it's easy to get distracted by the noise externally.
Hmm.
News, media, people's opinions. It's
Hmm.
so easy to go down that avenue. And I just probably like what you said yourself, you feel into it. And if what
Hmm.
I'm being invited to be involved with doesn't feel good to me, doesn't, again, that word,
Align.
align with me,
Yeah.
doesn't represent who I am at that precise moment in
Hmm.
time, then I'm going to simply ignore it because I know that it's not for my highest good. It's
Right.
going to pull me off that path. And, I'll regret doing it. So, over, I would say, many, many years, it hasn't happened overnight. I've had
Right.
to learn the hard way. Um, I've sort of developed this mechanism, if for want of a better term, where I just focus in on my happy place. And one of the things you may have heard me say this before is if I'm having to have a conversation with somebody that's going through a lot of trauma or having,
Hmm.
a lot of tough times in their life, and I know that they need to get that out their system, they need to release it, and I'm that person to sort of trigger that and allow them to speak, I'm going to be there for them in that process. But sometimes that can be pretty tough being on the receiving end of that.
Hmm.
So this is where you'll laugh at this. This is
Okay.
where in my head I'm at Wembley Stadium. It's 1985, and I'm doing a drum solo in front of thousands of people. And I'm there, I'm holding that space for them, for that person in front of me to release that energy. But I'm in this happy place and I'm loving it. It's so peaceful. I'm getting entertaining the crowd. They're giving me the energy back. And I just hold space that way, and it stops me absorbing some of these energies that need to be released from that person in front of me. And it's a win-win-win all round.
Hmm.
I don't need to know the specifics of what they've said as such. I'm just holding that space for them to release and allow and align themselves. And I think it's nice when people are doing that.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would certainly say to those that are having that space and they're offloading whatever needs they need to do, I
Hmm.
wouldn't necessarily advise them to ask that person who you're offloading to what you've just said.
Right. Right. Because we
If
have
you,
to put up some sort of a reflection or
yeah,
in my case, what I
yeah,
do in my mind is that I just kind of open up a container of some sort of bag or a sack and then let them just unload into that and then take it and burn it, put it in the trash, whatever, in my mind, so that it's just not there anymore. It's not present for
like that.
either person
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah. It just I don't know, my spirit guides gave me that visual years ago, and I found it to be very helpful for me because then I'm not absorbing it, but it's also not bouncing back to them, you know?
yes, yeah, I do
So,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
just get rid of it. Just toss it, burn it, whatever. Yeah.
So with yourself then, up until going to the sweat lodge that you were
Hmm.
talking about there, and they are tremendous spaces. I've only ever been to
Hmm.
one, and that was so profound, but yet amazing,
Yeah.
transformational for me personally. But up until that point, what was your mechanism yourself for aligning?
I have done several different mechanisms and things over the years. Journaling has been a really good one because when I can put it out in
Oh,
front of me in black and white, it gets it out of me. Like whatever is stopping me from getting into alignment goes onto that paper. And again, I can burn it, I can hide it, I can do whatever I need to do, or I can just set it on my desk. It doesn't really matter. But getting it out of me, getting out what is it keeping me out of alignment so that I can be more clear. And then in that way, then if an opportunity comes to me and I'm already out of alignment, I might go for an out of alignment event. You know what I'm saying? Or
mm,
because if I'm not in alignment with myself, then it will resonate with wherever my energy is. And if my energy is, way over here somewhere instead of here, I might say yes to something that was in alignment to that in that moment. But then later, if I get into alignment, I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. You know?
mm,
So, um, journaling is one way, meditating is another. Um, just being able, sometimes just asking a friend to be a sounding board, like you were talking about, to be able to get into alignment, meditation, prayer, nature, getting out there with the trees. Well, I'm a big tree hugger, so
that was my next question.
trees, rocks, whatever, we'll hug. Um, yeah, you probably saw at Avebury Circle. I know you saw me like really leaning into rocks, like
Like, come
really.
on, Kristina, we gotta go. We're on a schedule.
He didn't even
I'm
let me
having
pet the fluffy sheep, I'm telling you.
I'm having a personal moment with this rock.
Yes, exactly. But grounding into the earth is another way
Yeah.
that I can get into alignment. And with as much shifting as going on with the earth, and I was grounding into the sun, but now the sun is like shifting all over the place, so that's kind of hard to do too. But being in alignment really is like grounding into my own body, making sure that my spirit is present in my body along with my brain, because otherwise my brain will just go off on some misadventure somewhere and
Ah,
drag the
see,
rest of me with it.
I was going to ask the question,
Yeah.
for people that are just coming in,
Hmm.
listening in on this episode, they may think, oh, yeah, that sounds good. That makes sense. Yeah, 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 yeah. But why does it matter to be in alignment?
Because when I'm not in alignment, I don't make good decisions for myself or my life. How about you?
Good answer. How can I top that?
I don't know how.
I would say,
I'm challenging
why
you.
does it
Top it.
matter? Again, I'm going back. I'm taking it back
Yeah.
to soul paths. And as we know, these trigger points in our soul mission are there to help us expand the awareness, our consciousness, and
Hmm.
our essence as we go back to oneness. And I would say it matters because if we don't learn that lesson or come into alignment in order to move to the next level on this game called life,
Right.
then we have to go and retake that exam, or we have to retake that experience until we get what it is we're meant to extract from it. To me, that's why it matters. It saves us all of that wasted time, wasted energy coming back and doing this again. And I'm not just talking about reincarnation, I'm talking about events in our life. Many of you will be watching this and listening, thinking, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because I went out with that person and it ended, the relationship ended, and then I gave them a second chance, and then it happened again. And we can give 1,001 examples with this,
Yeah.
but it is getting the lesson straight away so you don't
Hmm.
have to repeat it and waste time and energy and essence and get all that frustration and clear that energy. It's saving you a lot of time and energy in the long run. To
Right.
me, that's why it matters to get into alignment. It's almost like I'm being shown by my guys, actually, as I'm saying this, like the game Snakes and Ladders. You go up 3 steps, you get excited, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you have a moment of maybe madness or weakness. You may get a little bit greedy, and the next minute, down you go on that snake, and
Yeah.
you're back to where you started. So, yeah, I suppose it's keeping yourself balanced, keeping the soul balanced, isn't it?
It is. It is. And so many of us, and I don't know, I mean, is it societal, is it whatever, but I feel like when we come into a body, brand new baby, there's we're already in alignment. And as we grow, we
Yeah.
learn how to not be in alignment. So, getting back to that, this is my soul, this is me, this is, how I really am. This is the type of person I really am. That really does matter. It matters to be able to be 100%. And it gets into authenticity. If I'm out of alignment, I'm not authentic. That's the bottom line. I'm not authentic with
Mm.
myself. And I am one of those people that just thrives on authenticity. I have never thrived in an artificial environment, you know. So,
I know what you mean, and I think
yeah.
that's why I rebelled at school. I didn't like the uniform,
Yeah.
the shirt and tie, and the sports jacket or the blazer, as we call them. Oh, it was so uncomfortable. It felt like a butterfly with its wings clipped,
Yeah.
um, to put it mildly. But I completely agree with you. Yeah, yeah. It's about authenticity as well, isn't it? And living your truth.
It is.
Excuse me.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I didn't actually, I've never gone to a school where a uniform was required.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah, our public schools here typically don't require uniforms. So, yeah, we wore whatever our parents put us in.
Well, I rebelled. I used to customize mine, and I used to wear baggy jumpers like the guys out of the band called The Cure,
Yeah.
and the tight denim jeans. And, I used to look smart, but in my own way.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. We've covered a lot of the points already, but how can we help others get into alignment? Like when somebody comes to us and they're really struggling and they're like, I just don't feel like myself. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't understand what's happening. How do you help other people?
I think that is the key, isn't it? We can't do it for them, but we can be
Right.
that space for them.
Hmm.
And a lot of the time, it's about getting them to realize for themselves, a bit like a counseling session, really,
Hmm.
that they are worthy, they are deserving, they are love, they are light. And maybe some of their experiences that have led them to question this has be has because they've been focusing their time and attention on what everybody else is doing, and that
Right.
their life isn't matching up, isn't synchronizing with everybody else's. So they feel like an outsider, so to speak. And I feel as though it's part of social conditioning where we're kind of subconsciously taught that the outsider is one that you've got to watch out for. They're not to be trusted. They don't deserve this. They're not with us. They're not in the clique. And that plays a part. It's in the subconscious mind. So it's getting them to share their story, first of all, to open up. And
Okay.
sometimes people don't want to open up, do they? They feel embarrassed. They feel a less of a person by showing their battle scars, if you like.
Hmm.
But if we're to get any progress anywhere soon, this is, I would say, the first port of call. Open up, get them to talk about what they're going through and how they felt. What were they thinking? Not from a perspective of judging them and laughing and ridiculing at them, just to get it out of their psyche, their system. And from that moment onwards, you've already lightened the load energetically. So they're in a different place emotionally, energetically. For you to share your observations of them, not
Hmm.
judging them, just sharing your observations. And then they're at a more relaxed state where they can sort of say, actually, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
And already you're changing their vibration. Well, you're not doing it, they're doing it
They,
for themselves,
right.
but you're just holding space. And just where maybe other people haven't given them that opportunity, maybe they were too busy to listen, or everybody's got their own lives, haven't they? So I'm not judging, but in
Right.
order for people to find their own alignment, you have to be really, really truthful and honest with yourself, and take that barrier down, because that's one of the things that's stopping you from being in alignment and being your true, authentic self.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And you hit on something without actually saying it,
Okay.
creating a safe space for people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, at least the ones that I've worked with, a lot of people have not felt safe in speaking their truth, because every time they have, it's not turned out well for them. So there is that whole idea of needing to be safe, needing to have a space where it's okay to speak their truth, to be able to just unload, and not because they're repeating the same thing and opening the same wounds, but because you're a safe person for them to say, I'm okay with you. I know you're not going to hurt me,
Yeah.
and creating safety, I think, is such an important thing because so many of us are so wounded from whatever that we've been through. We all have our own experiences. I really feel like it's very important to allow people to be safe in their own skin. A lot of people don't feel that way. And it's in order for them to be able to, you have to say, it's okay. I'm going to accept you no matter what comes out of your mouth right now. I'm going to hold you in a loving space and let you just be who you are right here and right now. And maybe, once they leave that space, they might not be able to hold that alignment or authenticity, but over time with practice they can. And I certainly didn't leave my first safe space and go back out into the same people who hurt me and and be
Mm.
authentic because that wasn't safe. So it's a matter of holding people in that space until they can get into alignment with themselves often enough to be able to make the necessary lasting changes.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And you've just actually triggered a memory when I was going through a tough time many years ago. And there's that buzzword. It seems to be a buzzword at the moment. I'm going to use it so people know what I'm talking about. Anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in your head too much and everything, you're too sensitive. Everything is just a big, like, confusion.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a place in my life where I was like that. And for those of you that are listening that are wanting to be back into alignment, the way how to get out of that so-called anxiety is to actually see it for what it is, call it out, see it for what it is, take one day at a time, and challenge yourself to do a little baby step further the next day.
Yes.
And this in itself, over a period of time, there's no right or wrong period of time. Everybody heals at a different rate, but it's all about progression. And in that progression, there is your confidence starts to build up, your
Mm-hmm.
self-worth starts to build up, and your vibration changes. And before you know it, that self-love starts to find its way back into your heart. And then when you connect in with your heart and you're from your mind, your thinking
Mm-hmm.
mind, you're in your heart, in your emotions, in your feelings, this is where you can receive that deep healing that can take you out of that space where you've been and take you on your next vibrational journey. So I feel it's very important that, people that are listening to this, don't think that we're offering you a quick fix. We're just giving you a few steps for you to encourage you to take baby steps to invest in yourself, both emotionally. First of all, let's go there emotionally, not mentally, emotionally. We'll go there first, and then energetically. And then your mind will catch up to that once you focus your attention on that. So, yeah, it's sorry for ranting away there, but
Oh,
this
you're not
trigger came in
ranting.
my mind, and I thought I've got to share that because, yeah, I've been there myself. And so
Mm-hmm.
I know those feelings and I know that wrestling match that we can all have with ourselves in our mind. And it's not a healthy space to be in.
No, it certainly is not. It is not. Um, you weren't ranting, actually. You were giving some really valuable information to people because getting into alignment and having the life that you're wanting to live rather than, like, I don't know, here we call it the American dream, the
Yeah, yeah, we've heard of
the
it.
the house in the suburbs with the picket fence and the 2.4 kids. I don't know who did that math. But whatever it is, it's so many of us are taught to buy into that. And when we really get honest with ourselves and how we actually want to live, very few people that I have personally met actually want to live that way. It's more wanting to be able to live in a way that really lines up with who they are. And, so I have a lot of friends who are like, yeah, I want to live in this little old cottage in the country and grow my own vegetables and, keep people away from me as much as possible. Yeah. I personally don't have that particular dream. I have trouble keeping a houseplant alive, but there's we all have our own dreams, and being able to just be honest with ourselves about that, rather than buying into what we've been sold our entire lives or what we've been told we have to do our entire lives. We tend to think that we are the smartest species on the planet, but we're the only ones who pay to live here. None of the other species on the planets pay to live
Yeah,
here, you know? So maybe we're not so smart. Maybe we're not the smartest species, but we can also, take our ingenuity and use that ingenuity on ourselves. And for me, it was a matter of understanding that my brain in anxiety was lying to me. And I don't, a friend of mine once, I think is who said it, like when that monkey mind gets going, she gave it a name separate from her name. She gave it a name and she would say, you go to the corner. I'm not listening to you right now. And that was really a helpful thing for me to hear because I could give that those negative thoughts, that anxiety, all of that stuff that's involved in that, I could give it a name and go, you're not welcome here right now. Go sit down. And that was
Like
helpful.
it.
It was helpful to name it
Yeah.
and give it its own personality to go over there and let me be me. And I hope that that's helpful to some other people too, because I found it to be just an amazing tool.
Yeah, it's a great idea, that, isn't it? Giving
Yeah.
it a ridiculous name like Tarquin or some Martha or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, Tarquin, behave.
Yeah.
Get in that corner, Tarquin.
Get in that corner. I'm not listening to you right now. You need to be
Yeah.
quiet. Yeah.
Boring. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no, no. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You are not saying anything that is of interest to me. Stop.
I thought you raised a good point there about the American dream. I know,
Yeah.
don't just feel it's connected with America.
Oh,
I
I,
feel as
I
though
know
we've
it
all been
isn't.
sold that
Yeah.
in the UK as well.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think slightly now that mold is breaking
Hmm.
because there's a new generation, myself included as well, that doesn't like the 9 to 5. That's not
Right.
who we are.
Yeah.
You get inspired at certain parts of your day. It doesn't always fit under that 9 to 5 umbrella.
Hmm.
And if you're a creative person, then inspiration could strike about 2 a.m. in the morning. And right, once you get it, you have to go with it and put that information and that idea down.
Exactly.
Um, but some people it does work. I'm not knocking people. I do a little bit of that work myself. I have to, obviously, to, like you say, we have to
Hmm.
pay to live here on
Yeah.
planet Earth, and unfortunately, we have to do that from time to time. But also that mold of owning a house and the white picket fence and everything. I feel as well that mold is breaking now. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people that like to roam the land. There's a lot of like a van life community. Excellent. There she is. Again, to go on mini adventures, to see different people and how they live, their cultures, and extract wisdom and knowledge and just share your adventures with them and your energy. There's this wonderful sort of, can we call it traveling community? I feel as though
Yes.
we're going back to our true authenticity because
Hmm.
from what I understand, when we were so-called Neanderthal or cave people or whatever,
Hmm.
we would follow the food source. So we would follow the wildlife. So if deer would travel from country to country for certain seasons because they were following their intuition, the food source, and we sort of followed them because they were
Hmm.
our food source. And in many respects, obviously, we're not following the food source now, but we're following that magnetic calling that we need to roam. We need to get out of this location and explore a new one. And I think slowly but surely we're coming back into alignment. There we go. We've got that buzzword
Hmm.
again with our true authentic selves. We're meant to go and seek and discover. We're not meant to just stay in one portion of this great world that we're living
Right.
on. We're meant to
Right.
see it and experience it, and it's there to be shared, isn't it? And part of our soul knows that. And a lot of people are moving away from the social structure so that they can fulfill that destiny, that calling within them, within their hearts.
Right.
So in many respects, yeah, that is happening at the moment. And it's obviously it's a fine line because it takes a great deal of courage to really commit to that lifestyle, for one.
Hmm.
And for another, we're bound by certain rules and regulations that are imposed on us. So to
Yes.
kind of dip one toe in each side of that camp at the moment, a lot of people are doing that and finding it
Right.
very enjoyable.
And that's what I've been doing, a lot of traveling, but I also come
Yeah.
home, and
Yeah.
um, I think part of that too is that the people who are living that lifestyle full time, it's because they found the home inside themselves. That the home
Oh,
isn't where they go to, it's who they are. And I feel like, is there anything more authentic than that? To be at home in
you've struck
yourself, no
gold.
matter where you are. How beautiful is that? It doesn't matter okay, what matters that I own is the vehicle I'm in that's running and safe,
Yes, yeah.
right? That's what matters. The vehicle I'm in that's running and safe. But outside of that, like we don't need all this stuff. Like I look around just where I live and I've lived so much stuff I just don't need, so much. And I think the nomadic lifestyle is actually getting easier for a lot of people now that we have internet so available in so many different places, and people can work on the road. They can work from wherever they are if they can get a signal, So yeah, which
I
is
like
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you were saying about stuff and things. Um, I see a lot of it as tools.
Hmm.
They're tools to help us on our journey, and we shouldn't let those tools hinder or get in the way. We're in charge of those tools, so it's up to us to follow that alignment,
Yes.
intuition, and we will get whatever tools, whatever things we need in order to fulfill our purpose, our journey, when
Hmm.
we need them. And I think getting out of that anxiety in our mind is stopping worrying about, will I have enough? Will I be able to go there? Will I have the transport? Will I, when you release that and
Hmm.
trust, get into alignment with your mission, your purpose, your heart's calling, wherever you need to go, those things will be made available to you. That's my understanding of it and
Right.
my journey so far.
Yeah. Mine too. Mine too. And you and I are so much alike in many, many
Mm.
ways that, we understand each other. And sometimes I wonder how well we explain that to people who are not like us. You know what I mean? Like my husband, very much grounded in home as a space. And I'm very much grounded in this is my home. So
Okay. Yeah.
it's kind of a different thought process. But I think that when we have other people in our lives, and I think most of us want some other people in our lives, and if we were meant to be solitary, there wouldn't be 8 billion of us, So, um, but being able to work that out to where both people get their needs met, I think is pretty amazing. And I think that's probably where opposites attract thing comes from because we're meant to experience different things with different people. Friends, like the experiences that you and I had together were amazing with different, there is no better way to see a country you don't live in than with a local. Go, going on a tour bus or something is not the way to see a country. If you really want to experience it, go with somebody who lives there. And it is a pretty amazing thing. And um, I feel like when we can pay attention to those things and understand that when we are in alignment, our intuition is right on. You kept saying intuition, and you're right. When we are in alignment,
Mm.
intuition is right on. It's very accurate. And I think that's another part
So
of it
why
and
don't
why
we
we,
break that word up for people who they've heard the word, they've heard people talk about intuition, they're
okay.
intrigued by it, but what is intuition? How do we know? For somebody that believes they've never experienced intuition before, how would they know? How would they go about that?
It's funny because I have people who tell me they don't have intuition.
Okay.
And my first step question is always, have you ever had a gut feeling? Have you followed that gut feeling? How has it worked out for you? And it's always something positive. And everybody has
Yeah.
had a gut feeling about something, right? Absolutely about something. And people experience intuition in different ways. Uh, and I don't mean to be gender biased, but a lot of men experience intuition, but they call it, uh, uh-oh, I had the word. It's gone. Where'd it go? Common sense. They'll call it common sense
Okay.
because it makes so much sense to them that everybody should know this, but maybe they're the only one who got that message at that time.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
get
and
that.
it happens with women too, but more often with men because they're like, well, that's just common sense. That's not intuition. it's not that gushy stuff, you know.
Well,
But
actually, I think you've hit something really important on that because, as you
okay,
know, a lot of us men, we don't like instructions. And when
right.
we go to one of these DIY stores, we buy what we need. If it's a flat pack or something like that, the instructions get left in the box, and we see the pieces. And so, what happens
Mhm.
next? We get
Okay.
intuition. We get hits. We can see that item, albeit flat packed, coming together in our mind, can't we? And as men, that's just normal for us. Yeah, that goes there. We need that screw to fit there. Yep, 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 yep. How do we know that? I would say intuition,
I would
particularly
agree.
because we've never even had an item like that in our lives before. You know,
Hmm.
I would certainly say intuition. We're being helped on some level. I'm no DIY expert, but every time I have to build something or do something like that, I'm the same. Don't like instructions. They get left in the box. And I think, right, yep, that goes there. Yep, 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 yep. And it may be at the final piece that I've probably
Yeah.
got one element wrong and I've probably put it the wrong way round, if you know what I mean. But it's only normally
Yeah.
one thing that slightly out of place. And I would certainly say that is intuition,
I would agree
I
with you.
believe.
I would agree with you. My grandson is great at that. He can look at a picture of something and build it. He's 5. He can look at a picture of
Wow.
something and build it. And it doesn't matter if it's Legos, Lincoln Logs, Erector set, whatever it is. He can just look at a picture and create whatever he's looking at. No instructions necessary.
That is
He just,
amazing. Again,
yeah,
intuition.
very strong
Yeah.
intuition. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think that intuition and alignment is something that is so personal to each person. You know, I mean, you and I both teach intuitive classes, but we can only
Hmm.
teach what we know, or we can, intuit how to teach better
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
intuition, which I know we both do. Um, but being in alignment and being intuitive, those are so personal for people and how they express it and how they experience it. And also, kind of maybe removing the idea of this is what it should feel like or this is what it does look like, because it is different for other people. Not everyone is
Mm.
visual. So how do you talk someone in through a guided meditation who's not a visual person, who doesn't get visuals? Then you have to find different ways of doing that to appeal to other senses. And that's where our intuition comes in and helping other people get into alignment with their own selves.
Mm. Like that. Yeah. And it's very true what you say about intuition being a very personal thing.
Hmm.
People talk, like you've already said, the gut instinct, that's one of the key ones.
Hmm.
Um, I would
Yeah.
like to throw into the mix synchronicities as well,
Oh, yeah.
because there's a lot of us out there that may not be spiritual or, sensitive, but we
Hmm.
notice things. Some people notice, oh, that they go to the shoe shop. Oh, that left foot is different to the right foot because it's got this element that. So they're already seeing a lot of these differences, and I would say that they have a skill set where they can see signs,
Hmm.
repetitive numbers, maybe hearing things on the radio. Oh, that I was there yesterday, and this song was playing on the radio in the supermarket, and it's by this artist, and this is the song. They're very observational. And I would say that is for them their form of instinct
Yeah.
because they're picking up on what's there available to them and they're memorizing that. I would say where the link is broken is they're not putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And this is
Yes.
where somebody like yourself or myself comes in and says, well, actually, you are intuitive. This happened to you, as you said. What do you think that represents to you? And can you see the pieces forming together to give you a message so that you can listen to that intuition and understand it more? And so, like you say, there's various means of
Hmm.
interpreting influential information from the ether, from the universe. And it does happen for each and every one of us. A classic one is when we have a knowing, we don't know how we know, and then we just get a picture of maybe one of our friends or family members in our head, And literally 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe half an hour after that experience, they send us a text message or they call
Hmm.
us on the phone or send us an email. And we say to them, I was only just thinking about you. So again, intuition, and also that goes into the realms of telepathy as well,
Hmm.
broadcasting our energy and our emotions, going back to oneness as well. Again, going back to our true authenticity, oneness, our divine authentic self.
In alignment. Yeah.
In alignment. Isn't it weird
Yeah.
how everything seems to
Yeah.
go full circle? It
It
all
does.
fits.
It does.
Mm,
And I know you and I joke about sharing a brain cell, but very often,
yeah,
I'll be thinking about something and you will send me a message about that exact thing.
really.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
interesting. Yeah. But I think that, when we tune into each other at that level, at that high soul level, that happens. That can happen with a lot of people. I have a feeling you probably do that with several people in your life, as I do, where you're thinking about somebody and like you said, they call, they text, whatever, or you pick up your phone because you just had a feeling, right? And you look at it and no, nothing. And then like 2 minutes later, a text will come in. You just checked it before they hit send,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
that's happened.
So all of that stuff, when we're in alignment, I feel like those things happen more often. I feel like we're more connected more often.
I think we all should be really grateful for what's happening where we're at in our
Hmm.
life, because it is changing for the better. Although we have all of these distractions and a lot of negative things that are happening outside of there. But if we were to put our lives under the microscope on a small level, we're making progress and
Hmm.
we're coming back to oneness. As a lot of people are creatives nowadays. A lot of people,
Yes.
as we said, they don't want to follow the 9 to 5 model anymore. They don't want to eat a certain way. They want to put their own spices into the mix. They want
Hmm.
to create their own food. And a lot of people now are going back to actually growing their food or at least finding out where it's been sourced from locally.
Yes.
And so there's that sort of connection with that at the moment. Also, what's happening at the moment, as you say, the internet is taking off, and there's a big thing. It's been happening a few years now with artificial intelligence, AI. There's those that are for it, those
Yeah.
that are against it, and there's those in the middle that say, well, hang on a minute, this is just a tool. And if we ask that tool to do a specific task to make our lives flow more fluidly, so that we then have time to connect with our true authentic self,
Yes.
it we're not wasting our time on energy on those tasks.
Right.
We're going within. So there's an argument with that at the moment, and I can see both sides of the camp, but I would say I sit in the middle. I do use it for certain tasks, such as with being dyslexic. I find it an amazing tool that you can talk, it can type, and it can do the grammar and the spelling and the punctuation. And I can get my point across very eloquently in doing so,
Right.
rather than coming across as a buffoon. So I use it in that respect. But yeah, there's lots of
Yeah.
progressions happening. So when we put life under a microscope and we start seeing these positives, I
Hmm.
think we should all start and celebrate what's happening. For us all right here, right now, we're in a magical transformation
We
of
are.
this planet. There are going to be, divisions,
Hmm.
obviously, but predominantly, I feel as though, good is going to prevail. And we can see those little signs, those little plants germinating, shall we say, coming forward.
Yes, absolutely. I agree that we are here in a very transformational time, and if you can look at it the right way without fear, it's kind of a wondrous thing to watch things collapse and rebuild. There's a there's a beauty to it when you can look at it from that perspective. it's scary
Mm.
because, maybe what's collapsing is all we've ever known, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. So, wow, we really went
Mhm.
deep, deep diving.
Well,
Yeah.
exhausted after that. Need to lie down.
Yeah.
Oh
Uh-huh. Exactly.
my
Exactly. I want to thank you again for coming on, being my wonderful co-host. We always have such deep discussions, and I know that I get a lot of feedback from people, and I feel like you probably do too, about the discussions that we have and how people have said to me, I've never looked at it like that before, or you guys really struck a chord with me. And, this combination of somehow Boddice and Bloom just, it worked. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you being in my life.
Likewise,
Thank you.
Christina, thank you again for having me on and putting up with me.
Putting up with you.
You're a
You are very
gracious
easy to
host.
put up with.
Oh, bless you. Well, thank you so much. Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you. Thank you. So, how can people make an appointment with you, have you, get a hold of you to come into their home and do a cleansing or a gallery or whatever it is that you do with people in their homes?
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, there's various ways. I'm on all of the social media. So just type in Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube as well. Have a channel there. Um, Go over to my website, www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com. And this is where you can purchase some of the items I have for sale, such as books, online courses, spiritual development. I've also got meditations, guided meditations, affirmational work on there. And this is where the radio show is also on there as well. So if you're not familiar of the radio show I do, it's called From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. And twice a month we have this gracious lady, Kristina Bloom, comes and joins me and we shoot the breeze. All of those episodes are on my website. So if you have missed out on those, you can go over, listen to, download for free. And of course, if you'd like to book in with me for private one-to-one read or a recorded forecast reading or anything like that, again, just find it on the booking page on my website and you can check my availability and book in with me directly there. Thank you,
Awesome.
Christina.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so I was listening to you as you were saying all of those things, and you forgot something. Your music. You have albums.
Oh, I do. Yeah, sorry. I always forget about that. Yeah, as you know, well, many of you don't know, but I'm a musician, I'm a drummer, producer, and I also channel through music. And I have a few albums there on my website. One is called Chants Amore, and this was all channeled through from spirit. It's a combination of Gregorian chants, chants from all different cultures from all over the world, set in a beautiful harmonic resonance setting. That's available there. My latest album is called Hypnotic Drum Healing, which is a combination of shamanic drumming and also tribal percussion there. And each track on the album is, I would call it a sound bath, a sound healing within itself. And so you can immerse yourself into that experience. It takes you on a journey. A lot of my clients and students find this album beautiful to actually release some of those blocks that they've been holding on to, whether consciously or subconsciously. And also, it helps them with their sensitivity to lighten their vibration. So, if they're wanting to, they can connect with either their spirit guides or helpers or even their own sensitivity. So, yeah, thank you for reminding me of
Oh,
those
you're
two
welcome.
albums. They're both available from my website. Go and have a
I
look.
know Chants Amore is something that I listen to when I really want to go on a mind journey. It
Oh,
really
wow.
takes me. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm going to do my bit of shameless self-promotion here too. As some of you already know, I am not going to be traveling as much in the next year. So I am opening up my schedule more for uh, online or phone readings, I do hypnosis, so we can do hypnosis sessions for whatever you'd like to do, past lives, Akashic records. Um, wow, so many things. Um, I am also going to be doing more lives on Facebook and bringing back online classes. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I did a lot of online classes during like 2019 to 2022 or 2021 and needed to take a break from it for a while because I was doing a lot of online classes. But those will be coming back. I will still be doing some events, some traveling, but it's going to be less, and it's probably, for the most part, going to be more local to the Midwest. So, and until I get that stamp of health, I'm kind of shifting the way that, pivoting the way that I do things. Um, I do have 2 books for sale on my website, which is very easy, KristinaBloom.com. You can book in with me from there. I will be going into the website and updating my office hours because I will have more office hours available. Let's see what else is going on. Wow, the drum making class, please go to the Alchemy Copper and Crystals. Love it. Copper and Crystals Facebook page, or just look up events for Native American drum making, and you will be able to find that there. Particularly if you put Mercer, Wisconsin in there, that will narrow it down. I'm just trying to think of what else. I am also going to be doing. Uh-oh, what?
Please, miss, do you do guided meditations?
I do guided meditations. Yes, I have. I actually have 6 free guided meditations on my website. So if you just want to go in there and follow those, you can follow the sultry sound of my voice and go into a guided meditation. And I'm just trying to think of what else. Wow.
Please, miss,
Oh,
you
yeah,
do
go ahead.
merch. You do merch, don't you,
Oh,
miss?
my new website. Yes. Thank you. I have a Printify website. So the name, if you just go to, just Google Printify and then go into their website and then just put in Pure Intuitive Magic and up will pop out my new merch store. So I think there's 9 different styles on there right now, or 9 different designs that are in there right now. And I'm adding more as I'm going along. So, yay. Oh, and more. What else did I forget?
Please, miss, do you do coffee mugs?
I will be doing coffee mugs. I will be doing coffee mugs. Yes, there are t-shirts, there's sweatshirts, there's tote bag that's available, and I will be adding more merchandise as we're going. It's just sitting down and doing it is sometimes a challenge, but I will be doing it. Uh-oh, I forgot something else.
Please, miss, will the mugs and t-shirts have Kristina isms on them, your
Yes,
catchphrases?
yes, it's all my catchphrases. It's all my original catchphrases and designs and all of that. So, yes, all of that. Thank you, Glenn, Glenn, for reminding me of that. I am having to learn how to do a little bit of um, graphic design as I'm doing this because there is some AI that I use to create some of it. I'll be upfront about that. But also, I have some of my own designs that I just have to figure out some specifics on. So, as far as like sizing and that sort of thing to get it into the system. But I am excited about it. I can't believe I forgot to mention it. And when this gets published on Wednesday morning, I will go into the comments and list my websites. And feel free to do that with yours as well. So thank you, Glenn. This has been so much fun and such a deep dive. I really enjoy our conversations. And look for us next time, or look for me next time. And then I'm also on Glenn's show. So look for us there as well. And Glenn, yours is coming out. Well, it'll be out for 2 days. Your next episode will be out for 2 days
It
with the
will,
SARS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can give you a heads up. I can't remember which one it is
Yeah.
for what we're going to be talking about on there. Okay. Oh, You might find this interesting. We're going to be talking about on Monday, mourning the former self.
Oh,
That's our
wow.
topic.
That's a
Yeah.
big one. That just kind of flows right into this one, which will release on Wednesday. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. Who knew?
who
Two
knew?
psychics. Who knew?
Who knew? It's that shared brain cell, I'm telling you. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.